Okay, good morning, everybody. My name's Kevin Kidd. We appreciate you attending this training for RESEA. As most of you know, we have to do this training each year. This is required by USDOL. And today we want to go over some of the new things with RESEA and some of the things we've been working on the past few months that we're really excited about. So appreciate you joining us. The first thing we want to do is we have created a virtual orientation services, and you can find this virtual orientation services on the ADOL ES YouTube channel. We're going to go over there, and we're going to show the video. So feel free to watch the video. It's about a 15 or 20-minute video. Once the video's done, we'll kind of Zach here from Birmingham, who has created the video. Really appreciate the help from Zach in doing this. And once the video's done, we'll kind of go over things and the new PowerPoint. So we'll go ahead and get started on that. Here's the video, and we hope you like it. We're really excited about it, and this will be our virtual video.
Hello, you're watching this video because you filed an unemployment claim and you're looking for work. Now, wouldn't it be nice if there were a place you could go which would help you to find a job, prepare for this job in whatever way that may look like, and then ultimately land this new position once you found it? It would be even better if there were a place like that close to you and in your community. Well, there is such a place. In fact, there's 55 such places in Alabama. My name's Zach, and I'm going to walk us through an orientation to your local career center. Now, as a reminder, this is only the first step of a few different steps that you need to take to complete your registration. Ultimately, you're going to have to contact your local career center. This will be the one on the letter that you were mailed. There'll be a number for a local center assigned to you. Reach out, and then you'll be assigned to a case manager. They'll help you finish out the process. At any time you have any questions or need assistance, please feel free to call this career center. Well, what is the Alabama Career Center? I like to describe it much like a big box store. You can get your prescription filled, you can buy oil for your car, get your groceries even. All of it in one place. It's a one-stop shop. The same idea applies for your local career center. We want to recruit, train, employ, and retain Alabamians into high-demand jobs. Everything you should need to find a job or to find employees if you're an employer looking for people is at your local career center. The services have been consolidated into a single location. So you've been selected by the unemployment compensation system for this orientation and for this meeting. You're going to be receiving extra services through case management. This is a goal-oriented process to help discover what you might need to get a job or to get a better job, and how we can best assist you to obtain those services. Now, there is a section of law which enables this process. And really is telling you that as an unemployment recipient, you're responsible for putting in a certain number of applications each week, or to do an adequate job search each week. As you go through the interview process with your case manager, you may wonder why you're asked so many questions. Simple answer is, the more information we have about you, the better we can help you to obtain that job. So, what can you expect from your orientation? Well, today's agenda is the big thing after you're through with this video, to contact your local career center. Then you're going to be assigned a case manager. Finish the video, of course, and then in person, you'll have a one-on-one interview with your career center case manager. That interview will consist of the following. You'll update your registration in Alabama Works. That's our website. You'll review your resume if you already have one. If you don't, we'll make one. We'll create one together. You're going to develop an individualized employment plan. If there's additional services you may need to help you find a job or while you're job searching, we're going to give you information about that as well. And then finally, we'll give you the documentation that you need to return back to the unemployment division. One of the things you'll do with your case manager will be to review the labor market information. Now, that may sound a little dry and dull, and frankly, at times it can be, but there's a lot of good information for you as you complete your job search. Namely, who's hiring, where are they hiring, and how much money can you expect in that field? This is a list of the 25 highest demand occupations in Alabama. Now, sometimes when you need a position, you may have a need to upskill or to receive additional training so that you can obtain a job. The Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act, or WIOA, is a federally funded program that can help you do just that. It offers services and funding streams for 3 different groups of individuals. For adults, for dislocated workers, those who've been laid off from their job, and for youth, ages 16 to 24. Now, it's not an entitlement program, and everyone won't qualify, but you certainly would want to speak with your case manager to find out whether or not this would be the right program for you. So one of the things the WIOA program can do is to help you for up to 2 years of training for a qualified applicant in a correct program. And that does depend on the availability of funds and the length of the program you're trying to attend. You can find some more details about this training program on our website. You can see the link there below. But go to alabamaworks.alabama.gov and search for the ETPL approved programs. Here are some popular training programs through the WIOA program. To obtain a license, certificate, or a degree, that just kind of depends on what you're going for. But you can have your CDL license, your CDL truck driving, nursing assistant, medication technician. You may go back to be a patient tech and receive a certificate in that, or welding, HVAC. As far as degree programs, you may get a degree in nursing or computer science. There's a wide variety. Please check out our webpage for a list of all the ones that you may qualify for. So at times you may have the appropriate skills that you need to find a position, but there may be functional limitations that would limit your availability and your ability to find employment. We can help you as well. We make referrals to our partners with the Alabama Department of Vocational Rehabilitation, or the EEO, to see what sort of accommodations you may need and how we may be able to best serve you. We have several other partners at the Career Center. Those who need adult education classes, GED programs, anyone who may need to have remediation, going back to school or colleges, and of course the vocational rehabilitation services are in-house. Sometimes you have all the training you need and there's no real functional ability that needs to be addressed, but especially if you've been out of work for a while, you may need things like housing, clothing, food assistance. Each Career Center will have a local list of community resources available for you. Now, at your Career Center, veterans are special and they receive priority of services. There's a few things that you may want to know about the veterans services in your Career Center. It applies for qualified veterans and their spouses. There are other job training programs besides the GI Bill. Some additional assistance may be available, especially for those who have service-connected disabilities or the spouses of veterans with 100% service-connected disabilities. One of the best ways we can help folks as they're transitioning from military service to the civilian world is that we can help translate your military skills into civilian workforce. We can help you obtain your DD-214 and other documentation if needed. Please let us know if you're a veteran. We'll be asking, and we want to serve you for serving us. So summarize all the things or some of the things that you can do at your local Career Center. We do have job referrals. We have training through the WIOA program. There are job fairs, adult education, services for youth, veterans who have priority of service, referrals to our partners. We can help you with a resume, and a variety of other things, anything that it may take to help you get a job. As I mentioned before, there are 55 career centers throughout your state. You can see the map there. There's bound to be one close to you wherever you are. I want to talk with you also, if you're an employer that may be watching this video, or if you happen to know someone who runs their own business, there's a few ways your career center can serve you as well, namely through the Work Opportunity Tax Credit. Now, this is a federal incentive to encourage businesses to hire folks who may or may not be historically facing significant barriers to their unemployment. It's a tax credit between $2,400 and $9,600, rewarding them for every new hire who meets the eligibility requirements. In particular, the group served may be someone on food stamps or TANF. If they're receiving vocational rehabilitation services, supplemental income, disabled veterans, someone who's been justice involved, or living in a rural area. It is a wonderful incentive for businesses to hire folks who may need an extra hand. Similarly, we offer the federal bonding program. This is more like an insurance program that also incentivizes companies to hire people from the same group who may or may not be facing additional barriers to employment. Again, this would include justice-involved men, women, and youth, individuals who may be in a recovery program, or with poor credit records. Individuals with these backgrounds can succeed just like everyone else, especially if they need a second chance. Now you'll see a copy of our webpage. This is where it all happens. We do everything here from the Career Center. We use it as the staff, and then also you would access it as a person looking for a job. This is more of a detailed view. As you can see, it's pretty standard. You can search by job title and by area for the job that you're looking for. There's a brief video that we're going to watch together. Please view it now and stay with me.
The way job seekers look for work and employers seek talent have changed. Online talent platforms, professional networking sites, and social media have revolutionized the labor market. This is why you need My Reemployment Plan. My Reemployment Plan is similar to a roadmap. It's designed to help you navigate the increasingly complex roads to your next job or a better career. This tool has been designed to guide you through your entire job-seeking journey, or simply to provide extra assistance at a particular step in your journey. Each section in the toolkit includes helpful information designed to make your job search as efficient as possible. Along the way, we provide specific action items geared to where you are in your search. If you are receiving unemployment insurance benefits, the activities we propose may meet your state's requirements for active search for work. We also include suggestions for documenting your job-seeking activities. If you're receiving unemployment benefits, our suggestions may help you fulfill your state's documentation requirements. A quick tip: confirm your state's applicable unemployment insurance requirements and follow them closely to avoid benefit disqualifications or overpayments. Whether or not you're required to submit records of your job search activities, you'll learn that keeping a record is an excellent way to track your progress and ensure you're making steady progress toward your goal. Before you go on to the specifics of My Reemployment Planning, a quick reality check about job hunting in general. Looking for a job can be a lot of work, so My Reemployment Plan is based on some proven job-seeking principles. 1. Every day you need to identify realistic, short-term steps you can take toward your goal. 2. You need to establish and stick to your deadlines for each step you take. 3. You need to put your time and energy into looking for jobs you truly want and are qualified for. 4. To keep yourself motivated, you should reward yourself for accomplishing specific goals. And 5. You need to let each successful step propel you to the next step in your plan. Using these guiding principles, we have devised a plan that will help you get and stay on your road to reemployment. You've heard the saying, a goal without a plan is just a wish. Well, it's true. So let's get to work.
All right. I want to thank you for your time. Now, again, if you haven't already done so, please make sure that you contact the Career Center from your letter to speak with your assigned RESEA case manager. Follow your local Career Center on Facebook for more information about job postings and upcoming job fairs. Let us hear your thoughts. Please take a moment to fill out the survey. Responses are confidential and anonymous. To start the survey, you can either use the QR scan below or click on the link. Thank you. Good luck with your job search.
Step into Wix Studio, the platform for agencies and enterprises.
Okay, is there any questions on the video? If there is, go ahead and raise your hand if you have any questions, or put them in the chat. This is the video, the virtual video that we want you guys to use. And when you have to do virtual services, when someone can't make it to the Career Center, we think this is a good video to start with to help these people understand what services are that we offer. And we are making use of the QR codes. It seems to be something that is beginning more and more popular. People who watch this video should be able to use their cameras to scan the QR code, and especially at the end, they really need to complete the survey where we've got some kind of proof that they actually did watch the video. So wanted to share that. Also, as far as the RESEA for this coming year, we still have on the Alabama Work Staff online resource page, we have the desk aid, which hasn't changed. The letter, as at this time, has not changed. One thing that we did update was the PowerPoint presentation. We made it more formative to what the video was. And what I wanted to do now is to ask Zach if he could kind of touch on the video, because he really played an integral part in updating this video. So, Zach.
Well, luckily, everybody, when folks see that virtual video, they'll be able to come to your local office and have you fix whatever I may have said incorrectly. But the cool thing about the PowerPoint presentation is that you can download it to your own computer. So you put it on a thumb drive or have it on your computer there locally. And it's really adaptable for your local services. So it can be much more relevant to the local office. Things are going to be different in Huntsville than they are in Birmingham, right? So they had different slides and different sections. One of the things that are kind of fun to do is to go to ONET. You know, we talk about labor market information, maybe plug in some of the occupations for the people in your presentation if you have time and if you have the appropriate size to do that. Checking out the ETPL page, and we talk about WIOA and potential trainings. Just those things, having a local list of partners for folks who need those services. So making sure that you have that PowerPoint downloaded and that you're able to plug in appropriate slides. Certainly, if you need any help navigating through that and how to add slides or anything, Mr. Kidd or Miss Heather would be able to help you out. And you could call me as a last resort if you had to. But we're glad to be able to use the new PowerPoint like we have it.
Thanks, Zach. And just reiterate what Zach said. Feel free to download this PowerPoint and add local slides from your partners in here, and especially from the quarterly partner meetings that you guys are having. You're probably getting some good information that you may want to include the slides yourself. So is there any questions on this?
When they can change.
Yeah. There will be two separate PowerPoints that will probably go out eventually. One that you can change, which you want to keep that yourself. And then the PowerPoints that will be on Alabama Works. So we'll keep you guys updated when probably as a tip of the day if we had any other PowerPoints and when we do. So we'll make sure that you understand that. Also about the RESEA itself, just kind of give you a little bit of a background to RESEA. When someone files a claim in Alabama, an unemployment claim, that information is taken from the UI NetAscent system and it's entered into Alabama Works. Normally, that information is entered every 20 minutes into Alabama Works. It's interfaced from the system into Alabama Works, so it has the basic information. When that information is interfaced, it's created a pool, or it's going into the pool for RESEA, into the UI pool. When someone has received at least 1 week of unemployment benefits, they can be entered into the RESEA pool to be contacted. Normally on Fridays, which was this morning, the RESEA pool is created and I get an email notifying me of RESEA and the amount of people. Most of you guys, especially the managers, on Monday evenings or first thing Tuesday morning, get an email from me letting you guys know that the RESEA calendar has been created and the people have been entered into the RESEA calendar. The events calendar, which you go into Alabama Works, will actually have the people scheduled for RESEA. So the best example, which is the largest office, which is the Birmingham Career Center, typically has RESEA scheduled individuals on Wednesdays and Thursdays at 8:30 a.m. And this will continue. And one of the things that we've done this year here recently is instead of having a large number one day, we have equal numbers for both days. So that's been a positive. We received positive information. So, that's something that we were really happy to do. And that was because some of the managers got together and they come to me about it. So anytime that you ever have any questions about RESEA or you think you got some great ideas, please let us know. We want to be a part of it to help and want to assist any way that we can with RESEA and help you guys make it easier. Also, the RESEA reschedule and the FTR. We have sent an email that on failed to report services. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask any questions. But basically, anything with RESEA, let's see, for the 28th, that you go to the group of attendees and anything that is marked other than attended is going to be a failed to report. These are all the reasons that you can have for a failed report. Even though it's a no-show, it's going to show as a failed report and it's going to create an issue. Okay. Now, one of the things that we did run into earlier was people calling these individuals for RESEA, which you're required to do. We want you to call these people, contact them, remind them of their RESEA appointment. And the people telling them that they had went to work, and people were going in and marking this ahead of time. And I think an email went out to let you guys know to just let it ride or mark it on the day of the RESEA event. Because we did run into some situations to where people marked them, but they actually showed up for the event. So it kind of created an issue, and we had to get the issue removed with UI. So wanted to make sure on that. Let's see, I do have a couple of in the chat. From Annette Caves, the QR code does work excellent. So yeah, that's true. Even on the video, you can scan the QR code with your camera, which is pretty cool. Christina Lawrence has a question. We're doing services virtually. The RESEA letter and CIF are available as fillable PDFs, but what about the IEP? Can a manager or supervisor at each office be given Adobe Pro access so they can turn the IEP printout into a PDF to be sent with a signature request? That's something we can look into and we'll discuss with area managers. Just keep in mind that Adobe Pro is expensive it's a cost that we have to charge out. But it is something that we'll share with Stephen, and actually the area managers are meeting next week. Christina, it's a very good question. And look at the possibility of exploring Adobe Pro, at least with the Career Center managers. So appreciate that. Good question. So thanks a lot. Also wanted to let you know, as far as funding, the 2024 RESEA funding we just received from USDOL. This RESEA is one of the few programs that actually is increasing in funding, and Alabama did get a slight increase in funding. And so, that's a good thing. We were monitored this past year for RESEA from USDOL, and we got a good review on monitoring. We want to continue to grow with RESEA. One of the things that we were required on RESEA, and let me go back to the staff online resources that USDOL said, was to actually create a program policy. And that is in Alabama Works. If you scroll down under policies and procedures, you can see the ADOL-ES-RESEA program policy. We would like for you guys to make sure this policy is implemented to staff and career centers. When you get a chance, especially managers and supervisors, to kind of read over this policy. And I asked Heather to kind of speak a little bit about the new policy. So Heather.
Morning. I won't read the whole policy to you. I just wanted to touch on some of the highlights. Obviously, the purpose behind it is that the RESEA programs are identified in the section of 306B of the Social Security Act. And the idea is to improve the employment outcome of UC recipients and to strengthen the program integrity, promote the proper alignment with the broader version of WIOA, and to establish reemployment services and eligibility assessments as an entry point for the UC claimants into other workforce system partners and programs. Of course, you have your minimum requirements, the one-on-one interview, the LMI, co-enrollments, IEPs, and then the referrals. And then there's some minimum core components that go along with that mandatory meeting. And I won't read all of those to you. And then below that, you have the Career Center staff responsibilities. And that's sort of the things we've gone over today, with the orientation to the services, and then what services you need to make sure that you do that are RESEA specific, and then Wagner Pizer services that we require. And then we want you to staff training for RESEA process. That's what we're doing here today. Going over everything. If you're not familiar with Workforce GPS, you need to get familiar. There's lots of videos and training and webinars that you can watch and go through, and RESEA videos are on there. If you're new to the Career Center or you have staff that are new, they need to complete at least 10 hours of training on RESEA before you let them do it by themselves, to make sure that they have a full understanding of what they're supposed to do with that client. And then all staff that provides this service needs to be trained every year on any changes. And everyone needs to know who to contact as far as UI, their ego person, their equity grant person, and how to use that RESEA email address to get that correspondence to who it needs to go to. Make sure staff are using their desk aids, and that they know how to locate, the fillable copies of things. That's pretty much it.
Okay, thank you, Heather. Is there any questions? I know that Christina and Annette have been communicating while we've been doing the presentation. So I would be interested in hearing what you guys come up with. It's something we might can share with everybody else. Very good information, and thank you guys, and thank you, Heather. Also, I wanted to update you on one of the things that we're really excited about for RESEA is the mobile unit. We do expect to be getting a mobile unit maybe sometime into the summer. One of the things we're going to do with this mobile unit is do more remote RESEA. That's something that we're very excited about, and we'll be sharing more information as that becomes about. So another good thing. Lastly, I want to go over, as far as my presentation, is the success stories. We've kind of implemented the success stories in our what's called a 9178, which is a report to USDOL on the progress of RESEA. And I really want to thank you guys on the success stories. We've had some great success stories. And as I've mentioned, any success story that's submitted, I submit to USDOL. This last quarter, I think I'm allowed to submit 10,000 words, and I submitted over 1,800 words of success stories, and I will submit every one until USDOL tells me not to. Also want to share it with the Secretary Washington, and with Stephen, and with all you guys. This is real good on the success stories. I think it gives everybody an idea of what other offices are doing, some of the techniques they're doing. Please read those success stories. That is some real good training on what other officers are doing and how they're making do with what's going on. So, if you're talking about this training program, which we're required to do, but these success stories, when you guys enter it, kind of enter it in mind that, hey, I'm sharing this not only for a success story, but I'm sharing it with everybody else. This is how we did this, and this is how we're successful. And please read that and look and continue to grow the RESEA program. It's really a program that has no limits, that you can do as your own. You can kind of take it and run with it. I think it's a great program, and it is something that has a future in what we do. So that's something that's very important. As far as the end of this, I don't see any other questions. We'll give a few more minutes on questions, anything that you guys may have. Heather will be sending out a survey like we do for all the training programs. And please complete that survey. We had a good response on the data validation training, the great survey report, and we share that with the area managers to kind of get them an idea of what's happening in your career center. Give a few more minutes if there's any questions or anything. This is the time to ask. We wanted to hold these last few minutes for questions. Don't really have RESEA problems across the state. I can report to you every once in a while something will come up or an issue will come up. But considering all the people we do, which we're averaging about 180 to 200 throughout the state every week in RESEA, we have very little issues. Here's a question from the Dothan Career Center. Just to be clear, for a virtual RESEA to be able to be marked as attended, we send them the video. They will have to complete the fillable CIF and sign. Also have to have the signed letter, and to do an IEP, have them send back, sign for upload. Yes, that's pretty much right for Dothan. We want you all to have your own process. But as far as them to be marked as attended, we would like for everything to be done. We know that things cannot be done on that day sometimes. We don't want nobody to FTR. So we want to leave it up to your office manager that if not everything's in and it's a judgment call, we would like to leave it up to each office manager whether they should be marked attended or not. But if it feels like they're in the process of doing it, and they're trying to get it done, give them a little leeway and mark them as attended. We can always contact, or you guys can always contact UI using the normal UI email site to let them know that they were a virtual RESEA and that they did not fully complete the process to activate the issue. So I hope that answers that question. Let's see, here's a question from V, and here it says, will the office be able to see the survey after they complete the video? The survey right now is actually just to me and to Heather, but that's a good question, V. And what we can do is we can send out the survey to the Career Center managers. Right now, since the survey is only for virtual RESEA and for the video, this was a question that come up. It's actually a good question, V, because we talked about this yesterday, me and Heather. When they come into the Career Center, they can continue to complete the customer service survey that you guys give to them, the staff. We don't see a reason for the form survey at this time, that you guys can continue using the paper survey for those that come in, and you'll be able to use that. But for the virtual and watching the video survey, yeah, we'll be happy to share that ever so often with you guys. So that's a good point. And also something that we may want to look at training is doing the survey for each career center on using forms and creating surveys for each career center. That might be something that we've also discussed, and we may talk about it more in the area managers meeting next week. But we could do training on forms and everybody have their own survey instead of having to use these paper surveys, and let people complete them by QR code or offer it as an option. So yeah, good question. Good question, Vivian. And don't see any more questions. All these were good questions, and the RESEA program in Alabama is a very successful program nationally. I believe Stephen was at the Washington at the NASWA meeting, and several people were asking how RESEA is working in Alabama. And I know the USOL has kind of shared some of our ideas that we're doing, but we're also looking for more ideas from you guys. Just like with Zach doing the video, if you guys have some suggestions or ideas, let us know, and we would like to try that. Don't be afraid to go out. I know I told the one Area 5 group managers, don't be afraid to go outside your box and come up with ideas and suggestions. That's what we're looking for, to be creative, thinking outside the box, and something that we want to hear from staff and something we could look at doing. So there's no other questions. There's nothing else. Looks like we're going to get done a little bit early. This will be recorded again. Don't forget to do your sign-in sheet, send it to Greg, your area manager, myself, Steve, and let us know that you've completed this training and all your staff has completed this training. Please continue to use the ADOL ES YouTube channel. Seems to be very successful for all your training needs, and this will be posted on here. I know it only shows this many videos, but you have the arrows that kind of go through all the videos that we have, and we'll continue using this. The only other thing I think of is when we do the orientation, you can go on this video and copy the link, and you can always email them the link to the orientation. Everybody should be able to watch that video, and you can do it by the link, or you can embed the link in your email and send it to them. If there's no other questions, we appreciate your time, and I hope you guys have a great weekend. If there are questions that linger, please let us know, and we'll try to answer them for you. Thank you, and I hope you guys have a good weekend. Appreciate it.